The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, the most sophisticated optical device ever launched, is once again leaving the world amazed. Initially assigned to examine the first galaxies and the process of star birth, Webb has now unwittingly drawn humanity into one of the greatest scientific epiphanies of our era. As per information made public by some global observatories that work in cooperation with NASA, Webb has taken what might be the very first visual proof of extraterrestrial life on Proxima b, an exoplanet that is in the orbit of the red dwarf star Proxima Centauri 4.24 light-years from our planet. This potential discovery is not only fantastic, it's revolutionary. Proxima b had been a frontrunner in hunting for extraterrestrial life for decades. Located within the habitable zone of its parent star, Proxima b is thought to have conditions that could, under the right circumstances, support liquid water. However, despite its relatively close distance in galactic terms, detailed study of Proxima b has been all but impossible until now. The James Webb Space Telescope, with its unparalleled infrared sensitivity and adaptive optics, has changed that forever. During a rare planetary alignment that allowed Webb to concentrate directly on Proxima b, a series of high-resolution images revealed anomalies on the planet's surface. Initially dismissed as data artifacts or shadowing effects caused by planetary terrain, deeper analysis revealed a far more compelling pattern: motion. Not random, wind-blown drift or thermal oscillation, but consistent, directed movement. Through consecutive rotations and changing illumination conditions, Webb saw what looked like a figure traversing the surface of Proxima b. This was not debris or an aerosol system. It was something else, something that moved with seeming intent. The form was approximately humanoid in outline, although much is not yet known. From shadow analysis and measures of reflection, scientists have approximated its height and stance, though conclusions are different. What is certain is that this figure was moving in a way that cannot be accounted for by natural environmental forces alone. The course taken displayed direction changes, sharp braking, and turns that suggested environmental perception. The figure also seemed to steer around major surface obstacles and altered course in a way that mimics intelligent motion. What distinguishes this from previous sightings or hypothetical signals is not just the quality of the image but its reproducibility. The James Webb Telescope imaged the figure in consecutive observations under varying rotational angles of the planet. That eliminates fleeting visual misperceptions or program bugs. Further, the object emitted infrared radiation in a manner coherent with solid mass and thermal control, which means either biological thermal output or an artificial surface that can modulate temperature. The potential implications are mind-boggling. If this is a living organism, biological or artificial, it would be the first time in the history of record that humans have witnessed a living organism beyond our solar system. This would be a benchmark not only in astronomy, but an earth-shattering revelation in how we think about life in the universe. For the first time ever, the question, "Are we alone?" can have a visual, observable answer. It should be recalled that the James Webb Space Telescope wasn't intended to search for aliens. Its aim is to study cosmic evolution, from the creation of the first stars to the chemical makeup of far-off exoplanets. The discoveries, however, have a tendency to show up where we least anticipate them. The instruments we create for one reason tend to reveal secrets way beyond their original aim. Here, Webb has turned into the unintended eye by which human beings might be seeing life on a different planet. Astrobiologists are now competing to study the figure's motion with motion analysis software and biomechanical modeling. A hypothesis is that the creature may be a native of Proxima b, which evolved under severe stellar conditions. Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf, and red dwarfs regularly emit very powerful flares that would render unprotected surface life hazardous. This implies the creature would have evolved natural protective measures, thick skin layers or infrared reflective epidermis, or built technological sheltering to endure. Another hypothesis suggests that the creature is not indigenous to Proxima b at all but could have traveled there, an explorer such as Voyager 1 to us. If so, we are seeing not merely alien biology but perhaps alien spacefaring technology. The possibility that this might be a robotic emissary or autonomous drone raises new orders of possibility. Is it a scout? A sentinel? A caretaker of a long-extinct culture? Or is it merely a wanderer on its own planet? Just as engaging are the environmental and sensory implications. Proxima B gets most of its energy in the infrared range, a dramatic difference from Earth's bath in visible light. Any indigenous life forms would have been designed to see the world in terms of warmth rather than hue. Its experience of reality would be a completely different one, perhaps attuned to wavelengths that are not visible to us. This imposes an element of intrigue on the person Webb photographed. What does it see when it looks at the sky? Might it be able to see Webb's presence indirectly? This is an idea that raises ethical and philosophical issues far outside the scope of science. What does it mean to see a living, potentially sentient entity without its knowledge or permission? Can observation constitute intrusion? Webb sensors don't broadcast, only pick up, but asymmetry of awareness raises awkward questions. If the target becomes conscious of our attention, does that represent first contact? Are we voyeurs, interstellar spies, or merely scientists tracking a trail of cosmic curiosity? It also again raises the always there question of the Fermi paradox. If intelligent life is probable in the universe, where is everybody? Maybe they are where we've never looked closely enough. Maybe alien civilizations aren't broadcasting sweeping signals across space but are quietly suffering, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the instant we have eyes keen enough to notice them. Webb sighting offers another theory. Maybe intelligence doesn't need to shout across the stars. Maybe it simply survives. The entity on Proxima B, if intelligent, may not care to communicate with distant observers. Its goals may not include galactic contact but local preservation. This forces us to confront the anthropocentrism that has long colored our search for alien life. We've been looking for versions of ourselves, broadcasting, building, colonizing. But intelligence can be much quieter, more adaptive, and better attuned to the world than our human history pretends. And what if the figure isn't biological in the first place? What if it's artificial? That creates its own set of possibilities. A robotic entity means technological progress, a civilization advanced enough to engineer autonomous entities. It might be ancient, maybe far outlasting its original creators. Or it could be mixed, combining biology and machinery in fashions that make us question our very concepts of life. Every option redefines entire fields. Biology needs to open up to accommodate life forms bred in infrared conditions. Engineering needs to consider machines designed with alien physics in mind. Philosophy needs to grapple with the question of the ethics of contact, and theology with the implications of our uniqueness. Instantly, the universe no longer seems like an empty space but a stage, populated, dynamic, and much more sophisticated than we had conceived. On Earth, all major observatories are now aimed at Proxima Centauri. Radio telescopes are listening intently. Simulation labs are creating models of the atmosphere. Artists and communicators are rushing to picture and describe the phenomenon to the public. Space agencies have held quietly convened high-level meetings to weigh the implications. If this number is true, what now? Observation? Contact? Or caution? More surprisingly, the public reaction has been one of fascination rather than fear. Maybe it's that the sighting was not theatrical, no flying saucer, no message in binary, but a figure, walking. It's accessible in its blandness. The vision of someone, or something, traversing the face of another world is more compelling than any signal or hypothesis. It's a mirror held up to the universe, challenging us to ask ourselves who we are and what we can become. While Webb continues to observe Proxima B, follow-up observations are being planned on several instruments. There are plans to construct a new generation of telescopes that would take higher-resolution photos and possibly even analyze chemical signs from the figure's immediate environment. The aim is to see if the entity is giving off gases, disturbing ground, or hitting other objects. These signs will provide answers to the biggest question: is it alive? The James Webb Space Telescope is now not only an instrument of astronomical discovery, but a witness to life, or something very much like it. Its quiet lenses, circling high above the Earth's surface, have perhaps looked into the greatest mystery of all and seen a glimpse of the answer. This is not what the mission was designed for. But science tends to unveil its riches accidentally in the stillness of margins of research. And this could be the largest margin of all. This determination, proved or disproved, is a turning point. It compels man to move from the search for life in abstraction to the preparation for the fact of life outside the Earth. The next questions will not be are we alone, but how do we proceed now that we know we're not? The instruments we construct next, the missions we send, and the questions we pose will be influenced by this changed consciousness. For the next few months, each scrap of information will be picked apart. Verifiable confirmation will be essential. But the photo, a lone moving form on a planet far away, will stay in the heads of scientists, fantasists, and citizens. It is something more than proof. It is encouragement. A reminder that, in a universe of billions of years, on trillions of planets and stars, we have barely started to look. So, what do you guys think? Have the James Webb Telescope taken the first actual evidence of alien life? Or is this just the tip of the iceberg on a greater mystery? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. One thing's for sure, we're writing a new chapter in the history of humanity, one where we are no longer solo in our observations. And now, we might not be alone after all.